All right.
That, yes, one of the.
Look like Joe.
The Chicago County Council meeting will now come to order Wednesday, November 13th, 2024. Would please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance. Nation, God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, will you know roll call, please?
First District Councilwoman Monica Gonzalez.
Here.
Third District Councilman Terrence Hill. Fourth District Councilwoman Stacy Winfrey.
Present.
Fifth District Councilman Robert Garcia. Present. Sixth District Councilwoman Gilda Orange. Councilman at Large Dwayne Metzger.
Present.
Councilwoman at Large Vanessa Hernandez Orange.
Present.
Councilman at Large Kenneth Monroe.
Here.
Council President Lenny Francisco.
Present. Clerk Medina, for the record, I did get a call from Councilman Hill and Councilwoman Orange. They are under the weather this evening. And I have a motion to accept the regular minutes for the meeting on October 23rd, 2024.
So move, Mr. President.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilwoman Gonzalez. Do I have any questions on the motion? Clerk Medina, roll call, please.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Winfield,
Yes.
Garcia.
Yes.
Bransford,
Yeah.
Hernandez on,
Yes.
Monroe,
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes. Have any communication from the mayor?
I have none.
Any communications from department heads?
We have account payable warrants. 102824 CC. 110624 CC. 110724 CC. 111324 CC. And 111324 LA.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilman Hill. To accept the bills. I'm sorry. Councilman Hill, to accept the accounts payable warrants. Do I have any questions on the motion? Clerk Medina, roll call.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Winfield,
Yes.
Garcia,
No.
Bransford,
Yes.
Hernandez on,
Yes, but abstention for 111324 CC.
Monroe,
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes.
Payroll warrant biweekly, 102524. Payroll warrant monthly, 110124.
So moved, Mr. President.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilwoman Winfield, to accept the payroll warrants. Any questions on the motion? Clerk Medina, roll call, please.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Winfield,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Bransford,
Yes.
Hernandez on,
Yes.
Monroe,
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes. Do we have any committee reports? Moving on, do we have any board reports? Do we have any ordinances on first reading?
We have one ordinance on first reading. Ordinance 24-0029, sponsor Mayor Anthony Cope. Additional appropriations ordinance appropriating certain monies received from the local fiscal recovery fund for payment of water and sewer infrastructure investment.
So moving first and second reading, Mr. President. Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilman Monroe, to hear ordinance 24-0029 on second reading. Any questions on the motion? Councilman Garcia?
Yeah, we're here to speak on.
Good afternoon, John Bowman, City Controller. This is tied to the resolution that was passed by the council meeting 24-0019. It's about when ARC, the American Recovery Act came up. The city received $31 million. We used about the majority of the money for infrastructure. We had 4 major street projects where we did everything, sewer, water lines, everything, and the boulevards, the last one. And we have premium things. We obligated the entire 31 million, but fortunately, these projects came up. And right now, we're looking at almost 2 million. We thought it was a little bit more, but the Treasury Department won't let us use the interest in this money. So we have to obligate this money by December 31st. And Treasury's definition of obligation is that we have to have a project where the bidding's been done, the contract's been approved, and notice to proceed. Right now, as I mentioned last meeting, we have one project like that right now that fits all the requirements, and that's the second phase of Lagoon. That's been bidded out already. The project is, I think, the lowest bid was between 13 and 14 million. And that's from going from Lagoon, from Chicago Avenue, going all the way to Columbus Drive, doing everything, you know, sewers, water, everything. So that's the project we have. That fits everything.
Councilman Garcia?
You said that doesn't include the interest, what you gonna do with the interest?
The interest, they said, it goes to our general fund, We thought it was supposed to be recorded in the theater. We talked to Treasury and they said, no, you can put it in your general fund, you can use it for any use that the city would normally use it for.
How much was that?
Right now, as of September, we have 200 something. And we will get the full picture in the final quarter after the end of December 31st.
That's all.
Attorney Jones?
Why are you, why is the ask 3 million to appropriate? Is that just to cover in case of?
We don't, like last time when we did the first phase, we were at the Boulevard, I think it came under 5,000. We weren't sure what this phase is gonna be because they're not complete yet. We don't know if there's any cost. There's only one more block that they have to complete. But because we weren't sure, we know we're at about 2 million something, but if it was a little higher, I would suggest we will, let's just. But I don't believe we'll get it higher.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Bill. Clerk Medina, roll call, please.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Winfield,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Francis,
Yes.
Hernandez on,
Yes.
Monroe,
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes. We have any ordinances on second reading?
We have none.
Any ordinances on third reading?
We have none.
We have any resolution?
We have one. Resolution 24-0020, sponsored Councilman Lenny Francisci. Resolution of the Common Council of the City of East Chicago concerning a petition for special use variance to permit the hauling, processing, or manufacturing of lime on the property commonly known as 5137 Indianapolis Boulevard.
So move, Mr. President.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilman Monroe to hear resolution 24-0003. I believe we do have somebody from the audience that's going to speak on this for a few minutes. If you'd like to come up.
Council members, dear ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stefan Steinecker. I'm Director of Almanac USA, and I would like to take the opportunity to present to you our standpoint on the project. As you all know, the property we're looking at is zoned as M2, heavy industrial zoning, and that's how we eventually and first found out about the property. And what we are going to do, and it was also highlighted already, is we want to install a fully closed system, meaning there will be no fugitive emissions, and all the calculations that we had done, also prove that the emissions are and will be under control. So what we want to install is a state-of-the-art system for processing lime, for making lime fines out of pebble lime. And this is, I would say, opposed to some of the equipment and some of the machinery that's installed very close by. So actually, we will significantly improve the environmental impact of the whole process in the area. I also want to highlight that we do really understand and hear the concerns of the people in the surrounding areas, of the residents, and that's why we also want to address those points. So prior to this meeting, we submitted all the safety data sheets of the products and substances that we want to use there. And all safety data sheets show that all substances, all ingredients are non-carcinogenic. So I understand that's a big point. That's what I want to highlight. To summarize our project, to summarize what we want to do is we do strongly believe in making the American steel industry more profitable, better, more sustainable. We do want to create jobs in the area. We, of course, are willing to increase the share of tax that we are going to pay in the area. And we kindly ask you to consider that we really want to be a part of this Chicago. Thank you very much. And if there's a question, please feel free to ask.
We'll say this first, and you bring up a good question about or point about the other company that's close by. And that's part of the problem. We're already trying to deal with that one. So now I don't think it's a good idea to put another one there as well. You have a lot of residents here that just don't want it. And believe me, I think I can speak for all of us here. We do want your business. We want new business in East Chicago. I just think there's other places where you can put this plan. And that's why I'm asking my colleagues to vote no on this stuff. Any other questions? Councilman Garcia?
Just for you, Mr. President, this was, turned down by the zoning board or BZA.
Correct. They did go in front of the BZA. They put out flyers, as you see, some of the residents here went out to 300 feet concerning where the plant will be for the residents, and they did vote no on it.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilman Gonzalez?
No, I was gonna reiterate that we did, the council does have an appointee on the BZA and, has spoken to many members of the council and, told us about the meeting and what they recommended.
Any other questions? Councilman Lansford?
Yes, my question was just, what specific environmental or community concerns led the zoning board to recommend against that?
Maybe he can speak on that after they looked at the,
Well, I mean, I was there only online, but what was really clear is that cancer is a topic. That's why we specifically provided those data sheets to kind of remove all concerns, because every single ingredient we are going to use is considered non-carcinogenic.
Councilwoman Hernandez Orange?
So I think one of the most important points is that we're giving possibly directly impacting community 15 total jobs or a total of possibly 20, when in reality, we don't know long-term. Being a community member, I see that when I wake up in the morning, I still have dust from the night before. And if I clean my car at night, I guarantee that most companies are going to be able to tell you the same thing. No, we are, what we test for, it does not affect our community, but in reality, it does. And you're not gonna know until years later. So I understand that the testing that is being done, but it's literally in the backyard of individuals that the wind definitely takes, and you can see on their cars every morning. So I agree with Francis.
May I comment on that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, I mean, I also understand your point. That's why we decided to go for a fully closed system. So, like, there is basically no chance for any line to get out of the system. Yes, there are other operations that handle everything differently. I would call it not state of the art. What we want to install, we have installed elsewhere, and we know how it works. We know that it works. And that's why we're stressing that it's a closed system, fully closed system.
So have you checked with your company and your employees after they've been working there? Because if you're still affecting 20 Chicago residents or more.
Yeah.
And there's no.
No, really. That's what the closed system is about.
Any other questions? Councilman Ransford?
So you say you have checked, what is the long-term data that you have or that you're able to provide to them?
So, I mean, for example, our primary plant that we built was 17 years ago in Germany. And they do biannual checks on, let's say, all kinds of environmental data. And we succeeded to be way below the very strict limits every single time.
From Germany.
17 years. That one was in Germany, yeah. But there are several worldwide.
Any other question?
I just have one more comment.
Councilwoman Gonzalez?
This factory or that was proposed to be built, this is their first, spot, I guess, area in the United States. There's no other one in the United States. This is their first one, so I'm just not comfortable. I'm just not comfortable. I just want to say that I'm just not comfortable with this right now, especially because of its close proximity, and everything goes right until it doesn't, until something goes wrong. So.
Any other questions? Clerk Medina, roll call, please. Thank you.
Title of the resolution. Common Council of the City of Chicago denying the petition. Gonzalez,
Yes.
Winfield,
Yes.
Garcia,
Yes.
Ratchford,
Yes.
Hernandez, Zorn,
Yes.
Monroe,
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes, denial passes. Do we have any old business? Do we have any new business? Councilman Garcia?
Mr. President, you could remind, Darrell that already, but, end of year appropriations, and I can get it for that first meeting in December, so our second meeting can be freed up in case anybody goes out of town.
Very good.
Thank
Any other new business? Moving on to public expression, if you please keep your comments to 3 minutes. First, we have Mr. Rudy Velasco.
Okay, first of all, thank you very much for your vote. That's a vote of confidence for our community. And the thing I wanted to bring up, since we already dropped this part, which was very good, but what I wanted to say, this was brought up by the planning commission and the zoning board, I believe. We had two people that were acting city planners, and they in that thing, they're listed as staff. So how the heck could they vote for this? They voted for it. The two staff members voted for it. Isn't that a conflict of interest? Isn't that illegal for them to even bring that up? And the guys that are acting planner, it's been a while since we've had a planner. They're supposed to be certified. If they're gonna be acting, why aren't they certified? And in that planning, if you look at the whole thing in their job scope, they're supposed to provide data and all the information, how it affects everything from property values to everything. None of that was brought up at that meeting. That meeting just came in, it was worse than the one that we had when they, right now, that's what it was, a presentation like that. Oh, trust me. And two of these guys that are on the staff voted for it. Thank goodness the zoning board turned it down. But there's gotta be something illegal or it should be changed where the staff member could vote on it. I've never heard of that. And also they kept bringing up, when we talked about public notice, having it in Spanish and everything, these two guys that were on the staff said, well, we fulfilled it. It's 300 feet. Do you think if that fire starts, it's only gonna be 300 feet right there to the houses? So I'm asking that you an ordinance or amend anything that comes in here that if they try to push something again like that, where it's 300 feet, we should all know. This whole city, supposedly Heart East Chicago, then let's really show the love. And what page do we really want up here? You get this paper coming out, Heart East Chicago, beautifying East Chicago, we want people to live here, and then you turn around and bring the line plan. Trying to do that. What are you trying to do? What are you, industry or that? We've already been through that. We should be working, if you look on it for these job things for better cities, it's the parks. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a Merry Christmas, Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mr. Velasco. Next, we have Ms. Donna Lucero.
So my comments are kind of a moot point now, but thank you for passing that resolution. I'm assuming limestone and lime are the same thing. I said this was my comment, that it was a carcinogen at the last meeting. And I just wanted to read what I found. Limestone contains crystalline silica, which is a known carcinogen. A component of limestone that can be released into the air is dust when limestone is handled. Inhaling respirable crystalline silica, which are particles smaller than 10 micrometers, can cause lung cancer. The International Agency for Research on Cancer and the National Toxicology Program have classified crystalline silica as a group 1 carcinogen, meaning it's carcinogenic to humans. That's it.
Thank you. Next, we have Juan Hernandez.
Juan Hernandez.
Yep. Okay. No. Good evening, council. Thank you for denial, because you listen to the people and our concerns, and as residents of East Chicago, you know the way we've been carrying our industry. It's been job generator for generations, but also it's become a burden, and we want to improve our city. So thank you for that. No. The residents came out and spoke, but I do want to emphasize something. When we inform residents, we need to inform them in both English and Spanish. That was one of my big concerns. People, a lot, and only property owners were notified. There are a lot of renters in that area. So just people in general should be notified, and they should be notified in both Spanish and English about these issues. So that was my big concern. And like the gentleman that first came up, we should go beyond the legal requirements and do better in Chicago. We should inform as many people as possible, by whatever means possible, about what is happening in our city, who wants to come in, who wants to build here, and in fact, our health, our primary concern should be our health. If we don't have our health, we have nothing. It doesn't matter how many jobs, if you're not healthy, you're not working. And also property value. And it said, the first gentleman also said, why don't we focus on that, healing that area? It'd be a beautiful entrance to Chicago to extend Kosciuszko Park east, make it a big park, a big place for the community to come out and hang out. We have some church members here from Goodwill Baptist Church. We're sure they'd be happy to bring a lot more people to the park to praise and worship God as they see fit, and to bring more people from the area. We want to work more closely with that church. It was something fortunate to have met them at the last meeting. Let's see one last thing. Yeah, and we do want a voice. We want a voice in how things are planned, especially things like this. So thank you, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you. Next, we have Thomas Donna.
Thank you, Council President. I won't be long on my statement, give you back some time. I want to be respectful of work-life balance for everyone here this evening. First of all, I'd like to say to Councilman Garcia, thank you for your service. Happy belated Veterans Day, sir. You mean a lot to us and our family. And to all the veterans in the audience, we thank you so much. Thank you. Shifting gears here really quick. Last time I was here, it was mentioned that the engineer for lights on Arbutus was out. We're already looking at mid-November here. Kind of like to get that moving, because due to the fact that it's really dark. Okay. And last time I was also here, we spoke about speed bumps. Well, I speak to one of my neighbors. She's an historian. She's from like one of the original houses that was built on Arbutus. And I was telling her about speed bumps. She goes, we have our own. You noticed it, right? I said, yeah, our asphalt hasn't been touched in years. And so the cracks that come up, you know, exaggerating a little bit, but the point is, we haven't had any touch-ups on our asphalt, our sidewalks. We're completely in the dark. Speed bumps is not what we're looking for, but we're just some new pavement that would be decent, some lights would be decent. But at the same time, we drive by these trucks, they have new electronic gates at the east end and at the south end. I'm not quite sure. I don't know if they're receiving or getting their cars broken into as police cars, but they're electronic gates. And when you drive by, they're always in the open position. So not to make light of the fact, when they do close them, does that impact their response time, especially for the Superior Ambulance Service? They're hourly, and at the end of their shift, I've experienced that. And then when they do show up, they ask you, do you want us to do in your own car, you drive yourself? You want us to put you in the rig? And by the way, they should let you know that it's gonna cost you $1,000 after your health plan has paid their portion. You know, that's way outrageous for us here. And due to the fact that my water bill went up, the price every month, and somehow they decided we're gonna dock you for 1,000 gallons of water. 1,000 gallons, that's insane. There's only 3 people living in my house. So we went to that water department and we told them, She goes, well, it's not gallons, it's cubic feet. It's cubic feet. I'm like, okay, so then weigh my body weight in kilograms, then it'll be less. But however, so two water guys come up to my house with their flashlight, look at the meter, that electronic meter, say, it's working. But, you know, inconsistencies, and then you get these from the mayor saying that people aren't even abiding by changing a filter or keeping logs of how fresh the water is. And like the gentleman said back there, and residents say, no one's notified when the water goes out.
So thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice evening.
Thus, we have Juan Fernandez. Fernandez. Juan.
Good evening, Juan Fernandez, East Carolina, 4312, 1311 Costasco Boulevard. First, I just want to say, I didn't know that, to be honest, I didn't know half the stuff that was going on with this line plant that was being built. And, I'm on social media really, so I wasn't informed of it. So what Mr. Juan was saying makes honestly a great sense of you guys are the community, need to be involved more, but also need to be informed more. So we're saying that, you know, we're bound by, history repeating itself if we don't learn from it. And literally, when my daughter was 1 year old, got some calls about what was going on in Calumet, and I grew up in Calumet, 417 East 150th. And, you know, back then, no one thought nothing was bad about it, and no disrespect to German engineering, because I know you guys are the best. But at the same time, you know, history repeats itself. Sometimes the greatest engineering projects also fail sometimes in the long run. I work at a hospital. I see hundreds and hundreds of people go in there that are 60, 70 years old, with cancer, different forms that grew up in Chicago. Some didn't work out, some did. So the outcomes of all this is bad. I don't want my daughter pulling me in there when I'm 70 years old, or her kids pulling her in there because something was right there, being built right there. So maybe if they come up with a better idea of where to build it, might be better, because someone was showing that they were really Einstein wanting to build that right where it's at. That's like literally right by where we live at. So definitely we don't want that there, but at the same time, it brings job more than people who live far away from any resident area. So, okay, we're saying that I only come in once a year and I always talk about my Thanksgiving food drive. So this year we're gonna feed over 320 families just from Chicago. That's gonna cost over $7,000 to feed these Chicago families for Thanksgiving. We get families from housing, we get families from Calumet Township, from North Township, from the school cities. We get families from all over, and to feed all these families, these are people in your district, 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 all of our districts to help these people. It's gonna cost, like I said, over $7,000 just to feed them families. So if any of you guys could reach out and help donate, we greatly appreciate it. Every penny goes back to feeding families, and I got flyers here for our event, because I would love for all of you to go over there to see where it goes, all the families, I mean, all the help that we supply to families. Like I said, the greatest thing is the investment that we make in, the investment you make in helping. I want you to see the return of helping the families yourself. So I got flyers here, so after your council meeting, I would like you guys to get a flyer for you guys to check it out. It's next week, and we have a lot of youth there, and definitely, like I said, maybe next time the engineers can come up with a different area, a better location than where they want to build it. Because like I said, literally, I live like 700 feet away from there. So definitely, I don't want that by her, I don't want that by me, and I don't want that by any of the other kids around, especially by that park. But like I said, there's all kinds of crazy industrial areas where it could be built too. So maybe they can look into that. Like I said, German engineering is amazing, but at the same time, certain things do happen, even in the greatest engineering. All right, thank you guys. Thank you.
A motion to adjourn, please.
Second.
Motion was made by Councilman Garcia, seconded by Councilman Monroe. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Winfield,
Yeah.
Garcia. Yeah. Transfer,
Yes.
Hernandez on,
Yes.
Monroe. Yes. Francisci.
Yes. Good night.